Welcome to VERISCAN Leak Tester Overview Training. This video supplements but does not replace the information provided in the user manual that came with your VERISCAN Leak Tester. This video is divided into segments so you can easily review specific topics as needed. These segments include an introduction to the VERISCAN Leak Tester and how it ties to infection prevention and guidelines, key components, installation and setup process, daily startup tasks, standard operation of the VERISCAN Leak Tester, testing a failed endoscope, loading desiccant drying crystals, additional menu functions, maintenance tasks, and troubleshooting. The VERISCAN Leak Tester is an automated endoscope leak detection system designed to detect damage-causing leaks in flexible immersible endoscopes. Flexible endoscopes are highly vulnerable to damage-causing moisture that enters the endoscope's sensitive interior through holes, tears, broken seals, cleaning cap leaks, and loose contact pins. Prior to the VERISCAN Leak Tester, leak detection has always been hampered by testing equipment that lacked precision and required extraordinary skills of observation beyond the capabilities of even the most experienced cleaning technician. As a result, undetected leaks allow moisture to enter the endoscope's interior through no fault of the technician. These leaks invariably result in extensive endoscope damage, expensive endoscope repairs, and raise the risk of cross-patient infection due to pathogens passing into subsequent patients through undetected leaks and moisture invasion. The VERISCAN Leak Tester uses innovative dry endoscope leak testing technology that eliminates the need to submerge an endoscope in a water-filled sink to find a leak. The VERISCAN Leak Tester automatically detects leaks through a process of pressurizing an endoscope, monitoring the internal pressure decay over time, and electronically identifying if an endoscope leak is present. The VERISCAN Leak Tester is compatible with almost all manufacturers' flexible immersible endoscopes, including Olympus, Pentax, Fujifilm, and Karl Storz endoscopes. Always follow the endoscope's manufacturer's instructions and establish professional guidelines to properly leak test and clean an endoscope. An effective endoscope pre-cleaning process and leak test are essential steps prior to endoscope disinfection, and the VERISCAN Leak Tester is used to complete the leak test phase. The VERISCAN Leak Tester is designed to meet customer needs by providing the following benefits: lowers cross-contamination risk due to undetected leaks and bacteria invasion by using highly sensitive and extremely accurate leak sensing technology. Minimizes endoscope repair costs through early detection of leaks before submersion in fluid, and standardizes endoscope leak testing protocols, which drives compliance. The VERISCAN Leak Tester's dry leak test method detects endoscope leaks on the interior and exterior of an endoscope. If an endoscope leak is detected, the endoscope should immediately follow your written procedure on how to clean and disinfect, take out of service, and send in for repair. This machine is designed and engineered to meet society guidelines and recommendations, providing infection prevention for your patients, caregivers, and other healthcare providers. Additional details for specific guidelines are available online at endoinfectionprevention.com. Items for the VERISCAN Leak Tester are packaged in 2 boxes. The first box contains the base unit, power cord, silicone oil, desiccant crystals, in-service documents, and user manual. A second box, called the installation kit, contains the endoscope manufacturer-specific quick connect tubing, 5 rolls of printer paper, and a second bag of desiccant crystals. Let's take a closer look at the components and features. The VERISCAN Leak Tester is initially supplied with 1 quick connect tubing. It is recommended that you always have a spare or backup tubing available for each of your specific endoscopes. Additionally, if your facility has endoscopes from different manufacturers, then additional quick connect tubing will be required. The quick connect tubing is not autoclavable and can only be reprocessed using low-temperature decontamination methods, such as wiping with EPA-registered surface disinfectant wipes. The display screen shows important test information and test results. The control keypad provides a touchpad for operation. Use the Start button to begin a leak test. Use Cancel to back out of a step or return to the main screen. Press Continue to acknowledge a step in the leak test process. Use the constant air button to provide continuous airflow to an endoscope. Press Print to produce a printout summarizing the leak test results. Press Menu to access additional features or subroutines. The numeric touchpad is used to enter specific data, including endoscope serial number, operator ID, or patient ID information. The up and down arrows allow you to move through subroutine processes. A built-in printer provides printouts of test results. The Quick Connect port located on the side panel is used for attaching the Quick Connect tubing. The other end of the Quick Connect tubing attaches to the endoscope's leak connector. On the back of the VERISCAN Leak Tester is the receptacle for the power cord. To turn the machine on and off, use the power switch on the back of the machine. There are ports for a USB and RS-232 connection. However, neither port is used. The drying crystals bulb assembly holds the desiccant crystals that are used to remove humidity from the incoming air used during the leak test. A more in-depth demonstration is presented in the desiccant crystals segment. A removable metal receptacle secures the drying crystals bulb. This button releases the metal bulb receptacle to provide access to the drying crystals bulb. Before pressurizing the endoscope, the incoming air must be filtered through the coalescent filter. This filtration system removes oil and air particulates and ensures that only filtered air enters the endoscope. Next, let's walk through the installation and setup process. Position the VERISCAN Leak Tester on a flat level surface within 6 feet or 2 meters of an electrical AC wall outlet. Attach the provided power cord into the receptacle located on the rear panel. Then plug the remaining end into a standard 110-volt electrical wall outlet that includes an approved ground fault interrupter or GFI. On the back of the unit, press the power switch to turn the system power on. Once it is turned on, the VERISCAN Leak Tester automatically performs an initialization process that includes a series of diagnostic program self-tests. When this process is successfully completed, the display shows the date and time. Connect scope and press Start. This indicates it is ready for the Daily Quality Assurance or QA test covered in the Daily Startup segment of this video. Let's walk through the process of setting the date and time on the VERISCAN Leak Tester. First, verify if the displayed date and time settings are correct. The VERISCAN Leak Tester displays time in a 24-hour military time format. The time setting needs to be adjusted for daylight savings time changes where applicable. If the date and time need to be set or adjusted, start by pressing the Menu button on the touchpad. Using the arrow keys, scroll to the Set Date and Time option. Press Continue and use the appropriate buttons on the numeric touchpad to enter the correct date and time information. When finished, press the Cancel button to return to the main screen. Next, we'll walk through activating data prompts. Effective data management begins with the operator entering identifying data at the beginning of a leak test. While an endoscope serial number must always be entered at the beginning of a leak test, the user must activate the operator ID and patient ID prompts in advance if this data is to be collected during the leak test. To activate the ID prompts, start by pressing the Menu button on the touchpad. Use the down arrow to scroll to Set Test Parameters. Then press Continue. To enable an ID function, use the down arrow to scroll to Use Operator ID or Use Patient ID. Then press Continue. To confirm use of the operator ID, press Continue. The ID prompt is now activated and displays during a leak test. Repeat these steps to activate another ID prompt if needed. When finished, press Cancel until the Connect Scope screen displays. Another feature of the VERISCAN Leak Tester is the built-in printer. The printer automatically detects when the paper roll is empty and flashes a small LED light on the front of the printer. To load or replace the printer paper, first gently pull the lever on the front of the printer paper access door upward until the lid is released from its lock position. To avoid damage, do not use excessive force. With the printer access door open, remove the empty paper spool and discard. Locate a new paper roll and unreel approximately 1/2 inch of paper. Place the new paper roll in the printer paper compartment with the leading edge of the paper coming off the top of the paper roll. Close the printer paper access door by applying a small amount of pressure onto the front of the door, ensuring that the lid clicks into the lock position. If it is necessary to advance the paper forward, press the Paper Feed button, the double down arrows located on the printer front. Tear off the excess paper by pulling up against the serrated edge. The desiccant drying crystals must be installed before leak testing an endoscope, as they ensure that only dry air is used during leak testing. See the desiccant drying crystals segment for instructions. A quick connect tubing is used to connect the VERISCAN Leak Tester to your flexible endoscopes. Before attaching, inspect the quick connect tubing and replace if there is damage or any indication of wear. A faulty quick connect tubing can result in a false endoscope leak test, identified as a fail condition during the leak test. Locate the O-ring in the endoscope connector end of the quick connect tubing and with a gloved fingertip, lightly lubricate with silicone oil. Lubricate weakly to ensure a secure connection. Failure to lubricate the O-ring can result in a false endoscope leak, identified as a fail condition during the leak test. Insert the quick connect tubing metal prong into the quick connect port located on the side of the unit and apply inward pressure until it clicks into place. To remove the tubing, pull outward on the quick connect port's outer metal housing until the quick connect tubing is released. Always have an extra quick connect tubing. If a replacement or additional quick connect tubing is needed, contact Medivator's technical support at 1-800-444-4729. Once the VERISCAN Leak Tester is set up, you're ready to continue. To verify the unit is operating properly, the daily QA test must be performed prior to the first use of the day. This test ensures the internal integrity of the VERISCAN Leak Tester and its ability to properly sense an endoscope leak. Failure to perform the daily quality assurance test can result in the device not accurately detecting an endoscope leak. Only use the VERISCAN Leak Tester if the daily QA test was successfully performed and a pass result is received. First, press the power switch located on the back of the unit to turn it on. This automatically performs an initialization process that includes a series of diagnostic self-tests. When the process is complete, the display shows the current date and time and indicates that you can connect an endoscope and press Start. The daily quality assurance test must be performed without the quick connect tubing or endoscope attached. If the quick connect tubing is still attached, remove it from the quick connect port by pulling outward on the quick connect port's outer metal housing until the quick connect tubing is released. Press the Start button on the touchpad to begin the QA test. If prompted for operator ID, enter the operator ID using the numerical keypad. If the patient ID displays, press Continue. No information needs to be entered at this time. When the Enter Scope serial number prompt displays, enter 123 for the code for the quality assurance test. Then, press Continue. The leak test automatically begins. The screen displays Leak Test. Please stand by. You will hear the air pump cycling on and off during the leak test. After a preset period of time, an audible tone sounds, and the screen information displays Leak Test. Operate knobs and buttons. Press Continue to acknowledge. Press the Continue button and the leak test will automatically resume. After completion of the test, an audible tone sounds, and the screen displays Pass or Fail. Record the daily QA pass or fail test result using the daily quality assurance log provided in the in-service packet or found on our website under the product page. If a fail result displays, then the daily QA test has failed. Check to ensure if the drying crystal bulb and coalescent filter housing are tight. If the O-ring on the drying crystal bulb or coalescent filter housing is dry, use a gloved finger to apply a small amount of silicone oil. Rerun the QA test. If a fail result displays again, remove the unit from service. Never use the VERISCAN Leak Tester after a failed daily quality assurance test result. Contact Medivator's technical support at 1-800-444-4729 for further assistance. Let's walk through standard operation of the VERISCAN Leak Tester. For quick reference, use the Quick Start guide supplied with the unit. We'll begin by performing a leak test. It is important to remember that the VERISCAN Leak Tester performs a dry leak test. Do not place or immerse the endoscope in any type of fluid while performing the leak test. Don the facility-required PPE. To begin, connect the Quick Connect tubing to the VERISCAN Leak Tester. Then connect the endoscope. Press Start on the touchpad. If the optional operator ID prompt is activated, use the numeric touchpad to enter your operator ID number. A maximum of 4 digits is allowed. Then press Continue. If the optional patient ID prompt is activated, use the touchpad to enter the patient ID number. A maximum of 10 digits can be entered. Then press Continue. When the Enter Scope serial number prompt displays, enter the endoscope's ID or serial number using the numeric touchpad, and then press Continue. A maximum of 10 digits can be entered. If there is a duplicate serial number within your endoscope inventory, use a unique number for the endoscope to ensure complete traceability. The leak test automatically begins and displays Leak Test, Please Stand By. You will hear the air pump cycling on and off during the leak test. After a preset time period, an audible tone sounds and the unit displays text on the screen that prompts the operator to turn all the endoscope's angulation knobs and to press all the camera switches. These areas of an endoscope are common fluid invasion problem spots that can be accurately leak tested only when all the endoscope's knobs and switches are exercised, and then press Continue. When the leak test completes, an audible tone sounds and the screen displays the pass or fail test result. If a pass result is displayed, either press Print to print the results or Continue to start a new endoscope leak test. Tear the printout off by pulling up against the serrated edge. Disconnect the Quick Connect tubing from the endoscope. The endoscope is now ready for the next step in the manual cleaning process. If a fail result is displayed, refer to the Testing a Failed Endoscope segment. Let's walk through what to do when an endoscope fails the first leak test. The majority of failed leak test results are due to true endoscope leaks. On occasion, a failed test result can be traced to several preventable and correctable issues. Let's review each of these. If the Quick Connect tubing is either damaged due to a small hole or worn due to an O-ring leak, a false fail leak test result can occur. Always have a spare Quick Connect tubing available to troubleshoot for a tubing leak. First, remove the Quick Connect tubing from the endoscope's venting connector and inspect the tubing for wear, damage, or holes. Inspect the O-ring for rips or tears. Inspect the O-ring for sufficient lubrication. The O-ring can tear if dry. Lubricate weekly or more if dry. Replace the Quick Connect tubing if worn or damaged. Some endoscopes are equipped with a water-resistant cap. If the rubber seal or gasket on the inside of the water-resistant cap is damaged, a false fail leak test result can occur. Remove the water-resistant cap from the endoscope and inspect the cap for wear, damage, or corrosion. Inspect the O-ring for rips or tears. If the rubber sealing area is not in perfect condition, replace the water-resistant cap with a new one. If the venting connector on the endoscope or the water-resistant cap is loose, air can escape and cause a false fail leak test result. Inspect the venting connector on the endoscope or on the water-resistant cap for damage or signs of being loose. Send the endoscope out for repair or replace the water-resistant cap if worn or damaged. In the event of a failed test result, the endoscope leak test should be repeated. Reattach the endoscope and Quick Connect tubing. Press Continue to remove the failed endoscope message and prepare the VERISCAN Leak Tester for the next test. Enter the endoscope serial number. Follow any additional prompts by entering the requested information. Press Continue. When the audible tone is heard, turn all endoscope angulation knobs and press all camera switches, followed by Continue. When the endoscope leak test completes, an audible tone sounds and the screen displays the pass or fail test result. If the endoscope passes the retest, then a pass result displays. Either press Print to print the results or Continue to start a new leak test. Disconnect the Quick Connect tubing from the endoscope. The endoscope is now ready for the next step in the manual cleaning process. If an endoscope fails a second time, press the constant air button on the keypad. Visually observe the endoscope's distal end for inflation. If the distal end of the endoscope inflates, then it can be safely submerged in clean water without detergent. Take your time and carefully look for air bubble leaks, making note of any locations. To manually clean an endoscope with a leak, a continuous airflow must be maintained during the entire cleaning process. The continuous airflow creates a constant internal endoscope pressure that prevents fluid from invading through the leak. Therefore, leave the constant air on while manually cleaning the endoscope. Manually clean the endoscope according to your policy and procedure for handling endoscopes with leaks, prior to sending the endoscope for repair. Remove the endoscope from the fluid. Press Cancel to halt constant airflow. Once the display shows Connect Scope, press Start. Disconnect the endoscope from the Quick Connect tubing. Disinfect an endoscope with a leak according to your policy and procedure. Remove the endoscope from service. Contact your endoscope repair company to arrange for endoscope servicing. The desiccant drying crystals must be installed before leak testing an endoscope, as they ensure that only dry air is used during leak testing. Monitor the condition of the drying crystals on a monthly basis and record the results on the drying crystals and coalescent filter log. Compare the crystals to the color-coded comparison chart located on the metal housing of the crystal bulb. Replace as needed. The crystals are blue and white in their active state. The color of the drying crystals changes as they absorb moisture. Once they are saturated, they turn a pale pink color to indicate they need to be replaced. Let's walk through the process of loading or replacing the drying crystals. First, locate a new unopened crystal desiccant bag. Turn off and unplug the VERISCAN Leak Tester before installing the drying crystals. Turn and carefully position the unit so the back is easily accessible. The recommended method for installing or changing the drying crystals is to extend 6 inches of the unit beyond the edge of the counter. Pull the metal housing release button down and hold. The release button may be located in the back. Gently pull down on the metal bulb housing and rotate to the left until it releases down and away from the machine's bulb housing structure. Gently lower the bulb housing away from the machine. Remove the glass drying crystal bulb from the bulb housing structure by placing one hand on top of the unit, grasping the glass bulb with the other hand and carefully pull downward in a twisting motion until the bulb can be removed from the housing structure. Empty and discard any used drying crystals from the bulb using regular trash disposal. Check the bulb for leftover crystals clinging to the inside. With your fingers, tighten the nut on the bottom of the bulb. If this nut comes loose, it can cause a leak test to fail. Cut a corner of the bag to create a small hole and carefully pour the entire bag of new crystals into the glass bulb. Do not allow crystals to enter the metal tube located in the center of the bulb. After adding the crystals, lubricate the O-ring with a small amount of silicone oil applied with gloved fingers and ensure that there is no dust on the O-ring. If there is not a good seal or the crystal jar is not seated correctly, the daily QA test or subsequent leak tests will fail. Return the glass bulb to its original housing by placing one hand on top of the unit while inserting the bulb into the bulb housing structure. Apply careful upward pressure while twisting the bulb in either direction to help it pass through the tight gasket seal and for it to seat into the bulb housing structure. Reattach the metal bulb housing by lifting it up and over the glass bulb. Pushing upward, turn the metal housing until it reaches a slot and the receptacle button clicks into place. Ensure the metal bulb housing is securely in place by pulling down on it. The glass drying crystal bulb can become dislodged during a leak test if the metal bulb housing is not properly in place. The color comparison chart identifying the drying crystal's color change stages should be facing outward. Plug in the VERISCAN Leak Tester and turn the system power back on. Always perform a QA test after replacing the drying crystals to confirm proper operation. Record the date checked and the result, passed or changed, using the drying crystals log. Next, let's take a look at additional system features and capabilities that are available through the Menu button on the touchpad. Press Menu and use the up-down arrow keys to scroll through the functions. Some of the most important functions are the Stored Runs, Quick Reports, and Set Date and Time. The remaining functions are programming tools used by certified system technicians and should never be accessed by an operator. When finished, pressing the Cancel button returns to the previous screens. Let's take a look at a few key functions. To access and review past leak tests, use the Stored Runs function. Start by pressing Menu. The cursor already points to Stored Runs. Press Continue. The cursor points to Select Run. Press Continue to view all the runs. The most recently performed leak test displays at the top of the screen. Use the up-down arrow keys to select the desired leak test run. Then press Continue to view the leak test. When finished, press the Cancel button to return to previous screens. The VERISCAN Leak Tester system can print custom reports that summarize daily, weekly, and monthly leak testing results. For example, a report can be generated that lists all the endoscopes that failed the leak test within the past 30 days. The unit retains 2,500 records before it begins overwriting the oldest to make room for new records. To generate quick reports, start by pressing Menu. Press the down arrow until the cursor points to the Quick Reports selection. Then press Continue to select this option. There are several options that will print summaries of the following: Current Day's Procedures, Previous Day's Procedures, 7-day summary of the week's procedures, 30-day summary of the month's procedures. The process of printing a summary is the same for all 4 options. Use the up-down arrows to select an option. Then press Continue. The printer automatically prints the selected report. When finished accessing quick reports, press the Cancel button to return to previous screens. Maintenance of the VERISCAN Leak Tester includes cleaning and disinfection. On a daily basis or more frequently if needed, use an EPA-registered disinfectant wipe to wipe down the unit and quick connect tubing. The VERISCAN Leak Tester is designed to deliver consistent and reliable leak testing performance. There are no user-serviceable parts in the unit, and only a certified technician is authorized to replace any internal components. Removing the VERISCAN Leak Tester's outer case voids the product warranty. For service or service-related questions, contact Medivator's technical support at 1-800-444-4729. The VERISCAN Leak Tester requires a minimal amount of regular maintenance and care to keep the unit in excellent operating condition. Let's review each of these maintenance areas. To verify proper operation, the daily quality assurance test must be performed prior to the first use of the day. This test ensures the internal integrity of the unit and its ability to properly sense an endoscope leak. Refer to the Daily Startup segment or the user manual for steps to complete the daily QA test. Always record the QA pass or fail test result using the daily quality assurance log. Another daily maintenance task includes the quick connect tubing and O-ring. Visually inspect both for wear, damage, or holes. While inspecting the O-ring, check if it is dry. Always ensure a small amount of silicone oil is present on the O-ring and lubricate weekly or sooner if dry. On a monthly basis, monitor the condition of the drying crystals by comparing the crystals to the comparison chart on the housing. Replace as needed by following the instructions included in the desiccant drying crystals segment. Use the drying crystals log to record the date checked and the result of passed or changed. Another monthly task is to check the coalescent filter and housing for condensation or dust and replace if needed. At a minimum, replace the coalescent filter annually to ensure that oil and particulates are being removed. To replace the coalescent filter, follow these steps. Turn off and unplug the unit. Untwist the clear plastic bowl from the filter housing until free, then set the bowl aside. Remove the filter element from the filter housing by untwisting it until free. Discard the used filter. Twist a new filter element into the filter housing until tight, being careful not to cross-thread. Examine the clear plastic bowl and ensure the O-ring is seated in the groove on top. If the O-ring is dry, add a small amount of silicone oil to ensure a good seal. Replace the clear plastic bowl by twisting it back into the filter housing until tight. Plug in the unit and turn the system power on. Always perform a QA test after replacing the coalescent filter to confirm proper operation. Record the date of the filter change using the filter log. If the VERISCAN Leak Tester fails to function, or if you have any questions, contact Medivator's technical support at 1-800-444-4729. Troubleshooting the VERISCAN Leak Tester is simple, as there are no user-serviceable parts in the unit. If the display screen does not appear or does not power on, there are a couple of troubleshooting options. First, check the power cord to ensure it is securely plugged into the back of the VERISCAN Leak Tester and in a properly rated wall outlet. Next, turn the power switch on the back of the VERISCAN Leak Tester to the off position. Wait 15 seconds, then turn the power switch unit back on. If the system still does not power on, contact Medivator's technical support at 1-800-444-4729. Thank you for viewing this video. Please complete the assessment that accompanies this video and print the completion certificate prior to your hands-on in service.